Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a really good day. So today I wanted to talk to you about expensive products that are worth the money, that are good value for money, that are good investments. So I've got my top 10 products that I think, although they may be an expensive outlay, they're gonna last you a long time, they go a long way, you get a lot for your money. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is Anastasia palettes. I think these are amazing value for money. I feel like all of the shades in both of the palettes that I have, the Soft Glam and the they're all Anastasia. In both the palettes that I have, the Modern Renaissance and the Soft Glam, I will use every single shade in here. You get 14 shadows in both palettes. You also get a really good sized mirror, and you also get a really decent usable double-ended brush in there. These are £43. They're definitely not cheap, they are expensive, but if you think an Anastasia single shadow will set you back £12, I think, for just the pan. That's not even gonna buy you 4 shadows, whereas in here you get 14. And yes, the pans are smaller in here, but how many times do you go through a full pan of like numerous eyeshadows? Whereas if you use this, you'll go through almost all of the shadows. I just find these such good value for money. When you think, you know, a MAC single shadow in a pan is £10, you could only get 4 MAC shadows for the price of one of these palettes, which is gonna last you a lot longer, give you a lot more options, a lot more shades, and a lot more quality of an eyeshadow. Next up, the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel bronzer. This is kind of a love-hate situation for me because, oh, I mean, the smell is just mouth-wateringly good. But yeah, it's a cream bronzer if you don't know. They call it a universal bronzer. However, right now in my summer shade, you can see it barely shows up on me. So it's definitely not a universal bronzer. They definitely need more shades. It is one of, if not my favorite bronzers of all time. And I use it a huge amount, especially in the winter. And obviously we're just coming out of like the colder months here in the UK. And you can see I've barely dented it. I feel like this would last you a solid 12 to 18 months, even if you used it every day. And that is really good value, a really good investment product for your money, especially as it's Chanel. It's very luxurious smell. It's very beautiful on the skin. It lasts very well. Like, it's still there at the very end of the day, which a lot of bronzers for me are not. Just wait for this rubbish truck or whatever is going by. Oh my God, can you hear that? What is it? Next up, I have 2 high-end foundations that I think are really good value for money. The first is the Huda Beauty Foundation. If you don't know, this is a cream foundation. 1 pump of this is very small. It's literally a drop. If I show you, that's the pump, and that does my whole face. That one fairly small sized pump does my whole face to full coverage. Especially if you use a brush, you definitely won't need any more than 1 pump. So given that you get 35ml, which is 5 whole mils more than your average foundation, this is gonna last you a really long time and go a really long way. Next up, one of my newest purchases, this is the Dior Backstage foundation. In here, although it might look small, there is 50 mils in here. 50 mils, which is nearly double most foundations for £29. So for a Dior foundation to get 50 mils for £29, that is such a good deal. It's going to last you a really long amount of time. You think a lot of drugstore foundations, like number 7 is like £17 now. A lot of L'Oreal foundations are like £12, £13. So given that this is nearly double, it's not actually far off the cost of a drugstore foundation for the mils that you get, which is crazy. Next up, the Marc Jacobs Dew Drops. I have them in the shade Dew U. I don't know why I have to say it like that every time. Cringe. So these will set you back £32. So again, it's not cheap, but you do get 30, how much do you get? Not 30, not 30. Shut up, Charlotte. You do get 24 mils for that money. So again, it's almost as big as a foundation. And you think how much less product you use when you're using a highlighter. A lot of the time I mix this in with a moisturizer to give me like a body glow on my arms or on the fronts of my legs if I'm going out. It's just gonna last, I mean, you can barely see that I've used it. Here's the line where it's down to. I've had it for so long. I feel like you could use this like every day and it lasts you for, again, like 12 to 18 months. So again, it's like, it's a pricey outlay at first, but it's an investment that's gonna last you a very long time, even using it on your body. Next up, the Jouer Blush Duos. I have mine in the shade Adore. So in here you get 2 blushes that you can use on their own or mixed together. The reason why I think this is such good value, one, it's really nicely packaged. 2 really nice complementary shades, so you can use them separate or together depending on your preference, or to just give you an extra option. It's obviously giving you basically 3 blushes. It's £25 on Beauty Bay and you get 11 grams of product in here altogether. And if you think a MAC blush is 6 grams, this is basically 2 full-sized blushes. So these are actually bigger. Each pan is bigger than a NARS blush, which I think is 5 grams. Is that right? 5 grams, I think. And they are slightly smaller than a MAC blush, but I think they're bigger than a MAC mineralized blush. So basically you are getting 2 full-sized blushes for the same money that it would cost you to buy like 1 NARS blush or 1 MAC blush. So it's actually a really good deal, really good quality blushes, last a long time on the skin. Really nice to have a few options, especially if you're traveling with it. Next up, MAC's Paint Pot. This is the shade Soft Ochre. Don't look too closely because I'm ashamed. It is beat down. So these are, how much are these? $16.50 and you get 5 grams. These last so long. I use these every day to prime my whole eye, my eyelid, my eye area. Honestly, they will last me at least like 5 or 6 months to go through one of these. They never dry out, they never go bad or go off before you've run out, and it's just like, for me, a little goes a really long way. They last for flipping ever, even if you're using it like I do with my whole eye area, which is, I have quite a large eye area. You use it every single day, it lasts you a very long time. You can use it until it's gone and it will never dry out. Same story for the Lancome Monsieur Big. Expensive for a mascara, like £21. I think this is at full price. But I mean, this one I've had a good few months now, and it's like I've just bought a new one because as I'm pulling the wand out, you can see there's like hardly anything on there. But even so, I've used it today and it really does not look like it's on its last legs. And this is what I love, or one of the things I love about this mascara is it's as good on the first day you buy it as it is on the last day before you put it in the bin. It stays so good, which is so unheard of for mascara for me. I feel like every drugstore mascara I've used, good for a couple of weeks, and then it just loses its best quality, if you see what I mean. It just gets worse and worse, and you usually end up throwing them away by a sort of 4, 5, 6 week mark. Whereas this one, I feel like you get at least 2 months to 3 months use out of it, and it's still as good the last time as it was the first time. It stays so good. Next up, the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. Now this does dry out, like literally very, very quickly. After only a couple of weeks, mine has started to dry out. But with a drop of oil, it will stay good forever. I have had this for months. And although it looks manky as anything and a mess, it's like none has gone. Like if I was to sort of, you know, swirl around and neaten it up, it would look like it was new. I don't think I'm ever gonna go through one of these, ever. It's gonna last me for years. In fact, I can just drop a little bit of oil in here, or I can just even just wet my brow brush and it's then as good as new again. Is amazing. A little goes a very, very, very long way with this. It will last you a lifetime, maybe a lifetime. Last but not least, this is the MAC Prep and Prime Primer in the Natural Radiance shade. The yellow one, I have the pink one as well. I don't really know that there's much difference between the two, but yeah, this is the Natural Radiance base. I use this is like probably one of the first primers I ever bought. The good thing about this, although it's £30, which is quite expensive for a MAC primer, you actually get 50ml, which again, and primers usually come as the same size as the foundation. So the primer usually comes as 30ml, so this is 50. So again, you're getting nearly double the amount. So again, you're getting a huge amount for your money, and this is a really good staple primer. It's not going to change your life. It doesn't make me look younger. I don't think it necessarily gives me more like luminosity to the skin, but it does give me a lovely, even, nice base between my skin and my foundation. I definitely feel like it proves the longevity of my foundation versus using no primer. So yeah, if you're looking for like a starter primer that is going to last you a very, very long time, good value for money, I would give this one a try. There you have it. Those are my 10 expensive makeup items that I feel are really worth the money. They go a long way, they're good value, a good investment, good bang for your buck. If you found this video helpful, if you did, please like and subscribe before you go so I can see you again. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.